Hey friends, Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you the next project that I am embarking on, my next adventure. And I want to talk a little bit about the supplies I'm going to do and the setup. And it's probably one of my favorite things to share with you guys is when I start a new project, how I'm setting it up. Because what my hope is that it inspires you to start projects, to get yourself set up for success. I can't say that always happens for me, but that is my goal. So here's what I have on my desk today. This is a bit of a combination of gratitude documented and then a few other bits and pieces I've pulled in. So gratitude documented is from Illustrated Faith, and let me pull in a few more items here. So I have this whole stack of stuff off to the side that I'll be bringing into this video to share with you. But this is where I want to start. So what I have in front of me are a couple of ideas that I want to share, a few products that I want to share, and then kind of how I'm going to work through this project. So if you're unfamiliar with Gratitude Documented, it is a project for the month of November to do just what it says, document gratitude. So I have a video, and I will link it, for my gratitude documented last November. This was November of 2021. And I've shared this book and how I created this. And I also shared my struggles. One of my biggest struggles last season, I've realized now for November and December, was I think I was just feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. And I really wasn't feeling very thankful. I wasn't filled with a whole lot of gratitude. And I also realized that as I went into the Christmas season, I was really not feeling all that joyful. And I know that because I am also preparing for December daily. And so looking through that, I've realized, wow, man, last fall, I just was kind of a curmudgeon. So I'm hoping to turn that around. And that is kind of where the focus is for these projects here, is reflecting on last year and wanting to make some adjustments, and both in my creative process and honestly in just my overall mindset. So you could probably tell through my voice maybe, I'm just getting over being sick. So October didn't end well. It's actually the last day of October. Tomorrow starts November 1st. And ended up getting the crud. So I'm going to just move on forward. So at any rate, this project, real quick, I'll just kind of bring you up to speed on why I want to do things differently. I did this in this is like a traveler's notebook, but more of like a 5x7, I think it is. Let me measure here. I do that every time. I grab my ruler wrong. 5x7, yeah. So this is a 5x7. And I have a bunch of blank ones. So I pulled this out thinking maybe what I would do is start this, because this is the first year I did this project, last year. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just kind of create a series of these. I do like my projects to be similar, but not always. It doesn't always work out that way. This case in point, I am not going to do this. What I did in this project was I started off strong. Day one. Started off strong with some journaling, documenting gratitude. And actually what I documented was the fact that I was struggling with finding gratitude. I quickly realized what I'll do is I'll just put quick little bullet points of what I was thankful for, and then focus more on the creative aspect and the scripture writing. And then day 3, I failed miserably, but I did complete this project in the sense that I did all the creative pieces and added in all the scripture. I really actually loved that process. It was really fun to just make something without having to have a lot of pressure of documenting something or journaling something, to just make something. So I'm taking that idea and I'm going to run with it again for Gratitude Documented this year, but I'm going to change up how I look at this whole project. I'm going to do it in 2 ways. So let me set this aside. So what I have decided is I'm going to make a mini book. So these are the bases I'm going to use. I think this is the route I want to go. I went ahead and I rounded out the corners. I realized afterwards maybe I didn't want to do that. That always poses problems if you end up doing like a full page. You've got to round the corners every time. That's one of the things I really started to dislike about Project Life. The Becky Higgins kits was they were always rounded corners. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with the rounded corners. I might go and cut another set and go that route. But at any rate, this is just 2 thicker pieces of almost like a chipboard. It's actually just some backing from the Canon matte photo paper I always buy. I buy that in boatloads. So this is just the backer from that, but it's got some nice thickness, and it is measuring 4 by 5. I wanted to keep it pretty little. And what I'm thinking of doing is 3-hole punching, just 3 little holes, I think. I might do 2. And I'll show you why I might just do 2. Actually, in fact, I'm almost certain I'm only going to do 2. The other items I have on my desk are a lot of these little die cuts. So what I have are the ones that came with Illustrated Faith's documented kit. I did purchase the actual physical product, but you could use the same thing with digital. Just print and cut yourself. And this was all the ephemera, this pile and this pile. And what it is are the daily prompts, which are here. So they provide you with a daily prompt and scripture on this little card. And then each one of these has a corresponding piece of ephemera that matches up to it. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside because that's going to come into play in a moment. What I did pull out were all of just the bits of ephemera that are not, they have no words on them, basically. So I have those set aside. I also printed and cut a few extra digital pieces from Pebbles Peaceful Heart, I think it's called. Peaceful something. I'll make sure to link it below. It's a digital kit. I just got it from AC Digitals. The colors really went well. It was a nice balance, and it just really kind of spoke to me in its theme, and it was on sale. So that was a bonus. So I've cut a few pieces of that. So I have some ephemera. I picked up the newest washi tapes from Illustrated Faith. I am a sucker for a good washi tape, and I always love theirs. So I have some new washi tapes to play with, but I'm going to talk about that again in just a second. And then I did a whole bunch of prep work with some print and cut. I made some stickers. So I have sheets of stickers, and this is from the current Gratitude Documented themed products they have, their print and pray shop. So I went ahead and I've got some of those items. I also printed some double-sided digital papers, and these again are all from that Pebbles Peaceful kit that I talked about. And it's coming to me, Heidi Swap Honey and Spice, I think is what it's called. That was also on sale. So a few of those are from that as well. So printed out some really pretty, just basic pattern papers that I don't know if I'm going to use the black and white. That might be a little too stark against this kind of more of cream colors. I like that there's this mauvey purpley color being brought in. I don't use that very often, but I really like that. So I'm excited to play around with these. And I've said it often, but I do print my own digital papers. I use Canva, super simple, turns it into a PDF, and I can print, and I'm good to go. So I will make sure to link that video for you as well. So these are the items I'm actually going to use for my little album. And you know what, now that I said that, I don't know if I really spoke more about what this album is going to be. So let me backtrack a bit. This little 4x5 album is actually going to be gratitude documented in a way that is reflecting what we're doing in our family, any daily gratitude that I have personally that I want to record. So that's what's going to be in here. Now, what I'm going to do with this piece of the project, sorry, this video is a little piecey. You could tell I'm still not 100% because my brain is like fog. It's a little bit mushy, so this video might get real weird. But for the scripture piece, for the faith-based piece of this, if you will, what I am going to do is create a tag flip. So I really, again, loved the process of doing this, playing with paper and embellishments and stamping and all of the things. I loved that. And I really do like looking back at this. It's pretty. It's eye candy for me. So I want to recapture that joy. That was probably about the only joyful thing I got out of this project last year. The rest of it felt like guilt or or abandonment, or I don't know what. But I want to create a tag flip. So what I've got are the ephemera, the embellishment pieces here. And let's see, this came with the kit. It's a nice big ring, but I have boatloads of these, so I'm just going to use this one because it came with the kit. I am going to attach it, I believe, to this. So what I'm going to end up with is this little stand with a tag flip. I use the same stand. Oh, that was noisy. I use the same stand for a December tag flip that I've done. It's just a cute decorative item I put out. I'm thinking what I might do is put this actually on my desk at work, where I spend the majority of my time. So that is my plan here. So let me set that aside. The kit also came with this. I think I purchased this separate, actually. These little stickies that say thankful for. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to use that, but I have this little pack of stickies. There's a pack of just blank journal cards. They're like a grid on one side and this little plus sign hash mark kind of thing on the other side. So I'm thinking of somehow incorporating that both into this project and this project, the tag flipped and the album. When I get my ephemera, I always cut it off the bottom just so I can leave the top intact. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that, but I might use that somehow in the tag flip, or I'll just set it aside. I love keeping those. Let's see what else came with this kit. Some stickers. I got 2. I don't know if I was supposed to get 2, but I'm pretty happy I did. So that might be my cover. Or that might actually be really cute to be the cover of my album. That speaks more to what the purpose of that's going to be, a thankful heart. Just some bits and bobs here. There's a stamp set that came, grateful for, heart of thanks, and then some really pretty elements there. So I'll definitely be using that. It came with these extra stickers. Mine got a little bent up in the postage process, the mail process. But there's some really pretty little stickers here, decorative stickers, and then there are these like little tab flag things. I'm not sure how to use those or what I'm going to do with them, but I'm not going to hoard them. I'm going to try to just use them up. And then it came in a really pretty bag. Again, mine kind of got mangled in the mail, but I think I can make it work for something. The washi tape came in another bag. I just love keeping these. Then I did a little bit more prep work in that I purchased the toolbox that Jill, sort of the D, drag shot. Ugh, I can never get that right. But I've talked about these in the past. With Illustrated Faith, she has created them. Usually they're like tags, and she's switched to labels now, which I love. I'm super excited. But these are all the scriptures that are referenced in the kit. So I printed those out and cut them, and then she included multiple sizes. So I have the next size, the medium size, and I have the minis, but I didn't print them yet because they're really tiny. They're really hard to read. I highly doubt I'm going to use them because I actually sized these a little different to fit them all onto one page of my sticker paper. So this is all sticker paper. And I think as I go, I'll probably end up printing and cutting a few more pieces, especially the parts that are going to go in the album. If I run out, I'll just print more. And then I've just recently talked about this in a different video, but I'm like, pull this over here real quick. This is the box that I have on my desk for my Seasons of Faith smash pages that I'm working through. And I'm not going to use probably a lot of the torn paper and these bits here, but let me pull this out for a second because it's on my desk and it is geared towards the fall color schemes. So I have things already in there that I'm going to be grabbing. So this is my color palette, my swatch that I'm using for my Seasons of Faith. And right away you can see it's very, very similar. So I'm not opposed to digging in for things in that book. I have some washi. I have all my stamps. My fall stamps are out. I also have on my desk some watercolor pencils, some souffle and glaze pens, some highlighters, different pens. I also have these little boxes here. This is all of the ephemera I'm using for my Seasons of Faith. I have some more parts here, labels, more print and cut, and then I have some more tools. I have more watercolor crayons, date stamp. I really am kind of going for more of like a less of a clean look and more of a shabby chic look. So I've got this little tool. I forget what it's called, but it distresses edges, things like that. My inks. So these things are already on my desk. So this project is going to go really well hand in hand with my Seasons of Faith. So I could just always be working on one of these, basically 3 projects this fall, which I'm pretty excited about because I get a little bored of one project. And rather than having to clear my desk to pull out a different project, I can just keep working. So I love that this is going to go with everything. So let me clear my desk and start getting started. Let me clear my desk and start. So the first thing I wanted to do was get the covers for my mini albums put together. And I had this idea that I have this hole punch, very old hole punch, but I have this hole punch that is for like a 2-prong fastener in a file folder that I've had for ages. And I used it in my Truth Camp project, which I don't even know if I ever put that video out, but I just had it sitting around and I thought, well, this might be the perfect opportunity to use it again, make it very simple so that my holes are always measured the same. So I was very pleased that it worked really, really well. So I've gone ahead and created myself a template in addition to having my covers punched. That way I don't have to always have that thing on my desk, and I have a template for where the holes are going to go. So I'm really pleased with how that worked out. And next I'm thinking about how am I going to decorate this. I didn't want to overthink the cover, so I decided I'm just going to go with one of these papers. And I pulled this one out initially, this brown with a pink polka dot in it. When I was printing the papers, it's kind of the one I had in my mind that I'd use as a cover. But I just wanted to be sure, so I went back and looked at all my papers again. And I also thought that that yellow with the flowers from Heidi Swap's Honey and Spice, man, my brain is still foggy. And I'm even editing this and doing my voiceover a few days later because I just was really feeling crappy. But I'm getting there. I swear I'm getting there. At any rate, I went with my original choice. I kind of knew what I wanted to use, and I should have just trusted my gut, went with it. So I'm just trimming it up here. And again, this is paper that I've printed onto that Canon matte photo paper. It's not as thick as a chipboard, or rather cardstock, but I love it. It always works really well, and it's such a wonderful paper in the way that you can print on it because it's a matte photo paper. It's perfect. So at any rate, I have those ready to go. So I'm just going to finish trimming them up. And I promise I'm not going to make you watch the whole process of me taping these down, but I did want you to see a little bit of the process. So I decided to keep the rounded corners. I'm just going to go with it. It'll be fine. I grabbed out my corner rounder. I don't know, I was struggling with it a little bit, but got the job done. And now I just simply need to adhere it down. I'm going to punch the holes again with that vintage. I call it a vintage hole punch because it's really old. And keep it in simple, just taping it down. I thought about maybe distressing the edges or adding a little bit of ink to distress it, and I thought, let's just keep it simple. So both sides are done now. I've gone ahead and put that pattern paper on front and back and just checking to make sure my little rings will work. And yeah, pretty easy little mini book. I don't know why it didn't have to be complicated, and I love that. So moving on to decorating the front, I had a couple of ideas I wanted to work through. I had thought about using that sticker with the typewriter, but honestly what I didn't love about it is the white edging around it. I really kind of wanted to have something that was cut a little closer and had a little bit of a cleaner look. And this little mason jar just kept speaking to me. I just think it's so, so cute. I'm not a big, huge mason jar person. I don't do a lot with mason jars, but this one just captured me. It's really cute. And so I'm just playing around with just different ephemera that I kind of want to position behind it. There's something about these oak leaves that I'm drawn to, and it's probably because my entire backyard right now is an ocean of oak leaves. We have oaks in our backyard, and they've just about finished dropping all their leaves. We have a couple that are odd. They don't drop till March, but most of them have dropped. We had a really windy day the other day, and then it rained, and so now they're all over the yard. My husband is furious because he just raked and blew all the leaves out a couple weeks or maybe a week ago. So he came down this morning and was like, what? So we'll be doing that later. But at any rate, I have made my decision. I'm going to go ahead and use the oak leaves because I like them. Now, to make sure that I get everything kind of positioned where I want it, I've just put a little bit of adhesive on the front side of the leaf because it's going to go behind that mason jar. That way I can make sure I'm positioning things where I want them. I end up always kind of moving it last second anyhow, but this way it works. I also thought about maybe putting a little bit more paper to back and lift up the middle section of the mason jar because I just didn't want it to cave in a little, but in the end I decided it was fine. Next, I pulled out these puffy stickers because I was thinking I would put the date on the cover, maybe just right under the little jar there. And so I've grabbed these stickers and I found two that I like. There's like a pale pink and a gold. And as soon as I started looking at it, I realized 2022 has too many twos. So that is not going to work. So then I go to my stamps and I pull out some stamp sets and I looked for one that had the word November. And I thought, okay, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and put the date stamped on it. Maybe I'll put it on a little label at the bottom or something like that. And so I pulled out some stamps and I thought about what that would look like. And then I kind of stopped myself because I realized maybe I don't want to date the cover because I'm not sure how big this book's going to end up getting. I don't know if I'm going to do it daily. So what if I decide I want to carry it on next year? So I've abandoned the whole entire idea of dating it. That is something I can definitely come back. So that's it for the cover. I'm going to go ahead and clear my desk and switch over to the tag flip. Now moving on to the tag flip, I have a couple of options in front of me here and I have to make some decisions. So I thought I would bring you along on that process. So I have in front of me some plain white cardstock. I don't love this cardstock. It's not as bright white as the Canon matte photo paper that I use for all my die cuts that I cut, print and cut, but that's okay. This will work. And I also grabbed some craft paper because I think that just lends itself to just this whole entire color palette really, really well. And I love craft paper, so I'm thinking I might mix the two. So I've got some card base here. Now I have to decide the size of these tags and at least the largest size. And then if I want to use a die cut or if I just want to kind of work off of this corner chomper, which I have and I never use it. So I'm kind of tempted to just use this little doodad, but I can't quite remember what it does on the corners. So I'm going to grab some scrap paper if I can find a piece that I'm willing to cut into. Here we go. So if I go with the small angle, how does this work? There we go. If I do small, ooh, that's really small. Is that seriously? This tool just does that? I got this at Tuesday morning and I probably didn't even read the packaging. And I got home and I remember thinking, did I seriously just buy this thing? Huh, okay. Well, maybe if I use my right hand. Because I am right-handed. That was awkward. Okay. I don't know about this tool. Well, I have it. And okay, that's a little better. Well, I don't know. I don't mind it, but this is definitely a deeper, I don't know if that's the right term, but here's what I really don't want to have to do. I don't want to have to get out my big, huge, I think I'm missing a die. I feel like there's more than this. Where's the box? I don't really want to have to get out my big thing, whatever it's called. So I do have some smaller ones here. These are the smaller nested die. Okay. So if I were to use this size as my largest, okay, that's reasonable. That gives me plenty to work with. Let's see what this size looks like. a lot bigger, but I think when this is down, let's imagine what this will look like. Yeah, okay, I can see the problem. All right, this is going to be too big. So that is out. All right, well, that made that a lot simpler. So no to those ones. Okay, so I'll put the big ones away. And if we go with the smaller one, to imagine what that looks like. That's still, that'll work because it's probably going to be about there. So hopefully you could see. It'll look kind of like probably that to some degree. So I think this die will be my biggest one. And I do believe it fits into my little sidekick. Well, let's find out. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use these as my sizes. So that means I can use this guy. And then I'll end up cutting one template out of this. It doesn't have to be the right size. Well, I might as well make it the right size because I have, oh, maybe I don't have another piece. Well, yeah, I don't think it really matters. The thing that matters that I want to make a template for is the top parts here. So if I want to use something different, I could just kind of measure it up, cut it off simply. And then also where I'm going to end up putting the reinforcer hole, which I will need to figure out. So let me do that. Where's that die set? So it comes with this little piece here, which helps line up the hole. Which, honestly, am I going to use that? I could make the hole wherever I want, truthfully. It has a reinforcer thing, both sizes, and I don't know how you go. I'm either I lost a die or this is just silly because it goes from this to this. That seems a bit ridiculous. So I'm wondering if I lost a size. I'd have to go back and look and see what the next size was. This was from scrapbook.com. I don't think I have another one in here. These are all of my dies that fit in my sidekick. I don't use dies a ton. So yeah, I'm gonna say I probably lost one. Whatever. Okay, so that's my plan. So what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and cut out, stop making so much noise, Kelly. I am gonna go ahead and cut out my template and cut out some bases so I have something to work with. Now, the two projects are gonna work like this. This one is gonna be a bit more batched every couple of days or maybe every day, depending on how much time I have. It won't take long. It'll kind of be a lot like when I made my memory dex cards for the 100 days a couple years ago, which I loved that project too. Just something about playing with paper. But this is going to bring me back a little bit to scrapbooking and documenting memories, which will lead me into December Daily, which will be great because I haven't done any scrapbooking in ages, so it'll be a good warm-up for that. So this is all working out. I'm super pumped. So this one will be a little bit more of like batch work, or I'm not going to say daily. I'm just not good at daily projects. The tag flip, however, will be fun because I didn't really think about this. Okay. I could do a whole bunch at one time. So yeah, as you just saw, I went, I didn't really think about my widest. What's the widest embellishment? Just want to make sure. I bet it's this one right here. Ooh, that isn't gonna fit. Well, I'll have to get creative. And I just had an idea. So when I get to this one, I'll have to get creative. But this is gonna be a fun project. I'm excited. So I am gonna go ahead and make my bases, and then I'm just gonna see how much more light I have and how much more I'm gonna get done. So the only other parts I'm really gonna show you are me making a template and just a little bit more of the process of creating the tag bases. But what I did was I created a template for myself, and I did this so that, again, I can not have to always run the paper through a machine, my little die cutting machine. So if I wanted to just eyeball it and make a tag that's a little different size but still have the hole in the right spot, I'll be able to easily do that with a template. That's why I wasn't worried about the fact that it didn't go all the way down to the bottom. Because for the purpose of what I'm going to be using this larger one for, it doesn't really matter because the tag doesn't have to be the same size. I just want to make sure I get the holes kind of in the right spot. So that was really the purpose for making the template on the largest one. Just another little trick that I wanted to share is using washi tape to hold things down. I think that's super helpful. I usually end up having a little piece stuck to the top of my die cutting machine, whether it's my big one or little one. So again, here I'm just writing template, and I'm reminding myself why I have this template and that it is not the right size for the largest tag. So that's why I put the little cross at the bottom and the arrows. And then I did create a whole bunch of bases using some pattern paper, some white paper, cardstock, and then a few of the pattern papers. Did I say that? Pattern paper, white paper, cardstock. No, craft paper. Ooh, goodness. And then I also created a template for the smaller tag size, but that one I did make true to size because I wanted to just have that one ready to go. I was going to keep working, and honestly, I think at this point my brain was like, yeah, I think we need to be done. So last few things I do is I all of a sudden I kind of went, oh, these are really, really big. Are they going to fit? I can't fit them sideways. So I've realized, okay, those will go on the back in a strange way, which I'll show you in another video. And then I just was kind of thinking, okay, how do I want to do this? And this is where my brain was like, I think you should be done. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I have another video coming up really soon, and that is going to be showing a bit more of the tags. And yeah. So thanks for watching this video, friends. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. If you like this video, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to go ahead and do that. And then finally, don't forget to hit that little bell so you're getting notified when new videos are posted. And hopefully I have a whole bunch more coming because I really want to work on this project and I want to share it along with you. So thanks again, friends, and I'll see you next time.